What's up, guys? It's your boy Kevin Zhen here with another Flash Fiction Friday. What is Flash Fiction Friday? Some of you newcomers might be wondering. Flash Fiction Friday is a weekly microfiction contest I host for high schoolers all around the world. There's really just 4 rules. Keep your story under 250 words. Submit your story by Sunday. Your story must revolve around a central word or theme. And last but not least, there is a $3 registration fee, although I donate all the profits to Girls Who Code. Additionally, there are prizes for those of you who compete on a consistent basis, as well as prizes for top 3 entries every single week. First place $30, second place $20, third place $10. And you know what, guys? Even if you don't win, I will provide feedback and try to help you figure out how you can submit a better story next week. I provide personalized commentary on every single entry. Before I forget, here is the bit.ly link for this week's contest. And as always, all of the details are in the description below, so you guys can check that out. Without further ado, let's jump into this week's top 3 stories. This week's top 3 stories about the word Gazette. Let's start with the Truth Gazette. Really love this first line. It says, stepping out of the black town car swarmed by a dozen reporters and journalists, Rita Canned was dressed in her casual, diamond-studded earrings, neatly tied bun, perfectly manicured hands, typical in her line of work. I love how this sentence is quite long, but it's allowed to be long because there's so many commas which provide breaks. It actually pushes the sentence forward and makes us feel like we're in a rush, which is kind of how Rita feels. So I love it when this form mimics the content. Really powerful, high-level writing. And then next up, we have her grandfather, and you can immediately see the contrast between Rita, who kind of sold her soul to the government for money. She's basically like a dog of this regime. She publishes or doesn't publish whatever the government says. Her grandfather has integrity and says, we used to risk our lives for justice. I'd rather go to jail than cover up the truth. And you can see really how this conflict converges at the very end when the old man turns to look at Rita, hoping that she'll change, and she absolutely does not, and just continues to heed the commands of the party. Next up, we have American Man. Fantastic story here. Really high quality writing, particularly telling. Maybe some of you guys know the difference between showing and telling. Showing is lots of sensory details, trying to pull the reader into the moment. Telling is just in one fell swoop, you're covering a lot of ground. In this case, this is really powerful, succinct telling. I'm just gonna read it out loud. Really enjoyed this section. I think it's phenomenal writing. It says, it was our dinner time ritual. The two of us would have friendly banter about something trivial, and I would purposefully take an absurd stance just to make him laugh. Deep down, I knew he was pleased that his Chinese son was growing up to be an American intellectual. While he had immigrated during the gold rush and experienced the burdens of reality in a laundromat, he knew I could become something. And this transition from the telling into the characterization, where we have some more dialogue, really great stuff. When you read the first half of the story, you think it's going to be about identity. You think it's really going to boil down to, what does it mean to be Chinese? What does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be Asian American? And then the second half of the story, we see the transition from something that could be kind of heartwarming to almost tragic, in which case the Veritas Gazette talks about this great San Francisco earthquake, which, by the way, is a real earthquake. This is a historical event, and so this piece qualifies as historical fiction. Really emotional ending, and I like how it twisted. Now we have the son searching for the father. He's distressed, he's looking for him, and it ends up almost being like a sad, ironic fate. This story really floored me. I really thought it was one of the best we've seen on this contest. Although all of this week's were really good. Don't forget to vote for your favorite in the comment section below. That's how we decide first place, second place, and third place. So last but not least, we had In Their Living and In Their Dying. This was probably the most original concept that I've seen in a long time. We have life and death, these two characters kind of standing at opposite sides on a warm evening in October. And so the story is told from life's point of view, and death goes to pick up this Gazette, and life is commenting on what death might be seeing. I really like the ending here. This writing quality, the word choice, and the sentence structure, I think, was superb. It says, he came at last, he is death. Death came at last to the page of obituaries and read on, unreacting. But he did not turn the page, uncaring, as I expected. Emphasis, the separation of the word unreacting and uncaring, I think it really brings our attention to these words. Like, the intentionally fragmented nature of the sentence is just, I think it shows this writer's mastery of the craft. So then I'll read on. He seemed perplexed by the missing names. I suppose he was realizing that
human beings are not as skilled record keepers as he, that there are lives that pass even unremarkable to this unremarkable Gazette. Honestly, I had to read this ending a few times to really kind of understand what it means. I don't really want to spoil it for you guys. Maybe you guys can read it over a few times. Let me know what you thought of this ending. What is life trying to say about death through the use of the Gazette almost as a medium? Interesting. You're not exactly sure what direction it's going to take, and then it leaves us on this kind of hanging thread. And I think that 10 people who read this story could walk away with 10 different conclusions, which is another definition of really great art. Okay, guys, back to the main Kev.
And now comes the reveal for this week's word. Drumroll, please. The word is holler. As always, I would love for you guys to approach this word in a unique, original way. You also get bonus brownie points for writing in a unique structure or from a unique character's perspective, like we saw with Life Before Death. I want you guys to really showcase your creativity, and emotion plays a huge role in shaping good stories as well. So show me something emotional, so show me something creative. I can't wait to read your stories this upcoming week. As always, I am constantly rooting for you. Your success is my success. I'll catch you guys at the next one. Peace.